guys, it's Melissa from 3milelaneco. Today we're going to be talking about the steps that I took to make my business legit. So first of all, I wanted to preface this video by saying that these are the steps that I personally took. They may not be right for you, and depending on where you live, you will have different things that you need to do. Every state will require you to have a license, but some counties and cities also require it. So you need to really make sure that you do your own research in your city and county and state to make sure that you're following all of the rules that you need to follow. Every state has a business website. In Oregon, for example, our information is found on the Secretary of State website. So you can do a quick Google search for your state and how to start a business after it, and you will find a lot of resources online. Make sure that you take your time, do your research, figure out what you need, and if you need help, there are definitely people out there at the state level that can help you find what you need to fill out. So I live in Oregon, I work in Oregon, and this is going to be my example. Everything that I have done is because I need to do it for my state, and I live in a city and county where I don't need additional licenses for working in my home. So again, you're going to want to research for your own needs and state and city and county. But for me, I'm just letting you know that this is what I did being an Oregonian. So you want to start a business. The first step is you need to have a product or a service that you're looking to offer. I'm willing to bet that you already have one in mind since you're watching this video. And if you do, I want to make sure that you've checked these items off of your list. Let's talk about the first one, market research. You really want to make sure that you're researching your product or service to see what's already out there, the price point for those items, and how it's being offered. The second thing that you need to look at is your target audience. You want to make sure that you know who is most likely to purchase your products. So for me, I sell stickers. That's a very large target audience. It ranges all the way from young children to adults that love to embellish their items. But if you have a product that has alcohol in it, you're going to want to make sure that that is marketed to a 21 and up group. So that kind of gives you a scope of what your target market or target audience is. You want to make sure that you're trying to figure out who you need to market your business to. That is one of the very first things that I recommend learning and figuring out, because that is going to help you in marketing, help you in advertising, and help you get sales. The next item on the list is pricing. You really need to make sure that you're not under or overpricing your product or service. When you're doing your market research, you will see prices pop up on the items that you're looking for. You can go to Amazon, you can go to Etsy, you can go just to a general Google search, you can look around your local community to see if those same products or services are offered around you. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to find somebody in the industry that you're in that you can ask questions and gain some guidance from. It's really important not to under or overprice yourself, because if you underprice your products, you're not getting the value out of it for yourself, but you're also making it really difficult for other people in the same field to make a living as well. So you really want to try and be fair. You can be competitive, but you can also do it in a fair way. And the last item under my product or service category is photography. You really want to make sure, especially if you're doing an online business, which this video is geared for e-commerce. If you're doing an online business, you have to have great photos and possibly even videos of your product. Your photos are going to be the gateway for your customers. They will most likely see a photo before they even read the title of an item. So you really want to make sure that you hone in on a great layout for your item or for your service, and get your photography really keyed in. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get great photos. Most phones these days have amazing cameras on them. You can use that. Make sure that you're using a natural light whenever possible, and you do want to incorporate a few props, whether that is branches and flowers outside, or maybe you find some river rocks, Or maybe you want to up your game a little bit and find some actual photography props offered online or maybe in your local community. You can get very creative with photography layouts to make your products super appealing. The next step in starting a small business is securing your social media and your selling platforms. So let's break this down. We'll talk about social media first. Social media is huge in order to get your name out there. You need to connect with a lot of people in order to market your business. So the social media platforms I recommend in order are TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Some products will do better in some of those platforms over others, but those are the top 4 that I use for my business. You want to make sure that your name stays consistent over all of the social media platforms that you're going to use. If you can't get that same name across all of your social media platforms, you may have too generic of a name. You really want to make sure that you're standing out of the crowd, but you also want to portray what it is that you're selling. So brainstorm some ideas, do a vision board for your business, and you'd be surprised at the names that you might come up with. For the second part of this, we're talking about the selling platform. There are so many options out there. There's Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, Etsy, Amazon, you name it. The list keeps going on. The 2 that I'm the most familiar with and that I still use today are Shopify and Etsy. If you are just brand new, starting out, and you don't have a very large audience, I 100% recommend that you start with Etsy. They have a built-in audience. They have intuitive tools to get your business started, and they do offer a lot of extra services. So you can get your feet wet with that business, learn the ropes of shipping and receiving products, get started in a very user-friendly platform. If you think you have what it takes to skip over Etsy and start a brand new website from scratch right now, then go for it. I don't have a lot of experience with the other websites. I know Shopify pretty well by now. I've had it since June of last year, and I really enjoy that platform. There are a lot of resources to learn how to use the platform. There's also a lot of ways that you can customize that platform to make your customer's experience 100%. Okay, so we've talked about your product or your service. We've talked about your social medias and your selling platform. Now it's time to talk about getting legit. You may need to ask yourself the question, am I doing a hobby business or am I doing a business? So that is a question that you need to contact a tax consultant about. It has a lot to do with financials. If you make a certain dollar amount, you may need to claim it on taxes, may need to claim it as a business rather than a hobby. There are all different kinds of rules and regulations about that, and it may vary from state to state, city and county, etc. So make sure that you're talking to a tax professional and get their advice on what you should do. Because I do have experience in small business and that is what my degree is in, I went ahead and I registered my business from the start. So let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top. The first thing that you need to find out is if your city requires a business license. To find that information out, you need to contact your city officials. Usually there's a website or a phone number or even an email that you can find online by doing a simple Google search. Contact them, ask them if they require a license, or look online and see if that information is available to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to make sure your business is legit. Similarly, some counties also require certain permits or licenses. So make sure that you contact your county, and your city might know. If you start with them, they might be able to tell you if the county in which you live also requires additional paperwork. After you get past the county level, there's the state level. Every state has their own website. In Oregon, we go to our Secretary of State website, and that has all of the information that we need for small business. It's on that website that you can register your business. This is the big one because this is where you're going to choose if you'll need a DBA, also known as an ABN, whether you'll be an LLC, or whether you're going to register as a corporation. If you're not sure which one to choose, again, I would highly recommend that you talk to a tax professional. You want to make sure that you choose what's right for you and for your business. After you register with the state, it's time to register with the federal government. They also have their own website. It's called sba.gov, also known as Small Business Administration. And there is where you will determine if you need to sign up for an EIN, or an employer identification number. Generally, all businesses need an EIN to do business. So make sure that you head to that website, research what your business is, and make sure that you are filling out the correct paperwork for what you are doing. And finally, once you have all of that paperwork out of the way and you've been assigned all of your numbers, it's time to get your financials in order. This is when you will choose a bank, sign up for an account, and I would also recommend signing up for a credit card, whether that's through your bank or through a different company, as long as you have a way to pay your bills and be paid for your products or services. I would also highly recommend signing up for a PayPal account, because that is one of the biggest ways that people will pay or get paid. There are several different payment processing services that you can use, but PayPal is really easy. It's free to use in most cases. There are some small fees depending on the services that you use from them, but they are great at an all-around payment processing platform. And jumping back to the selling platform that you choose, most of those have built-in payment methods as well, but I would still recommend getting a PayPal because I have used mine more times than I can count. And that is it for starting a small e-commerce business. I really hope that that helped to give you a little bit of insight in what you need to do. And again, please make sure that you do your own research in your city, county, and state to make sure that you're filling out every correct piece of paperwork and form that you need to make your business legit. And make sure that you're talking to your tax professionals as well, because the type of business you decide to create will impact your taxes. Make sure that you talk to a professional and see what they recommend for your specific situation. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new videos. If you made it this far in the video, leave me a comment down below with what your future business is going to be. I would love to hear what you are choosing for a business name and what your product or service is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!